you hear me? At the back, fallen asleep already now. Okay, thank you very much, MC. Thank you very much, Taylor's University, for inviting me to be the last speaker for this event. I was a bit nervous. I told Ruby I came a bit late because I was preparing for my speech. Actually, because I was a bit nervous, I had to calm myself down by playing a mission in Horizon Forbidden West on my PS4. So I completed the mission, and then I drove over, so I was half an hour late. Sorry, I really didn't tell you the full truth. Okay, I've been given the task of sharing youth participation in politics, and this is in a Malaysian context. And before I begin, I'd like to ask you guys a couple of questions. No pressure, answer honestly, don't have to be overly positive, don't have to be overly negative, just answer just by showing your hands and do it honestly. The first question I want to ask is, how many of you feel that your career path would be better than your parents? How many feel that your career path or prospects would be better than your parents? Can you put up your hand? Okay, quite a few you put up your hand, so I think this one a bit more pressure at Taylor's University. Yeah? Okay, second question. How many of you would feel that you will have a fulfilling career path here in Malaysia? That means you don't have to leave the country, just here in Malaysia. Okay, even fewer hands. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Daniel, yes. Malaysia boleh. Okay, I'll come back to that a little bit later. Third question. How many of you feel that Malaysia would be a better country for you and your children in 20 years' time? No one, No one cleared the back there. Okay. Hey, not even Joe, the logistics guy. Where is Joe? Alright? Because at the time you'll be retired already and then living in an island in the Bahamas, is it? Okay. I know that it's a challenging time in the country right now. We're just coming out from the COVID pandemic. We've gone through 2 very tough years. Many of you have just returned to campus. And sometimes when you think about your post-graduation prospects, you may think that the grass is greener on the other side, and that you may want to pursue options outside the country. I know things are very attractive, US dollars or Sing dollars and whatnot, and I think that some of you may feel that you don't really have any power over the future of this country that we love. I'm here to tell you that you can make a difference. I'm here to tell you that you have the skills and the abilities to make Malaysia a better place. I'm here to tell you that you must make a difference. Why do I say this? Why am I so confident in saying that? You, even a small number of you who are students gathered here, and maybe some of you who will be listening in later on, has what it takes to make Malaysia into a better place. The reason is because I went through the same process as many of you. I was in a similar position to many of you 20 years ago when I had more hair. I graduated with a first-class honours in economics from the London School of Economics in 1998. I managed to get into the University of Cambridge to do a master's in economics there. I interned during that time with the Monetary Authority of Singapore, the central bank in Singapore. And after I graduated, I came back to Malaysia to work for the Boston Consulting Group, BCG, in KL, with cases in Indonesia, Singapore, Hong Kong, and a few other countries. I transitioned from being a consultant to doing work in research as well as academia. And I was fortunate enough in 2004 to be awarded a Fulbright scholarship to do my PhD in political science in Duke University in the United States. I came back in 2010 knowing that I wanted to serve the country in some capacity, some shape or form. And I taught in a private university for 2 years until 2012. It was then that I got offered a job in Singapore. At the same time, I was also contemplating entering into the arena of politics. It was a difficult decision to make. Going to Singapore, continuing my academic career, having perhaps a different kind of career path, or taking the plunge into the world of politics in 2012. I spoke with my wife, and we discussed various things. We saw the pros, we saw the cons. I knew that I was not very well equipped to enter into the world of politics for a few reasons. Firstly, I wasn't very fluent in Chinese then, and you had to know how to speak in Chinese in order to communicate with the Chinese voters that I would likely have to communicate with if I was elected as a elected representative, either at the state or at the federal level. My BM was okay, wasn't great. Thankfully, it has improved. I wasn't from a politically well-connected family. I wasn't a multi-millionaire, or my family did not have resources that I could use to enter into the arena of politics. But at the same time, I felt that I could contribute something unique to the political arena in Malaysia because of my experience as a former consultant, as a researcher, and as an academic. I thought that I could contribute something in terms of raising the level of discourse and discussion in Malaysian politics, especially with regards to public policy. I thought that I could use my unique skill sets to help various communities in Malaysia. And very importantly, I thought I could play a little bit of a role to inspire young people like you here today to think of how you want to contribute to your community and to your country. At the end of the day, after discussing with my wife, in 2012, I took the plunge. I joined a political party and became actively involved in politics. 2013, I was elected as the Member of Parliament for Serdang. That's where the mines is, Big Bad Wolf, so I have many memories, Joe, from that. And then in 2018, I was re-elected as a Member of Parliament. This is my second term. Member of Parliament for Bangi, the largest constituency in Malaysia. After UNDI 18 and automatic voter registration, I had 300,000 voters. Twice the size of the number of voters in Paris. I've been a deputy minister for 20 months. I've had many interactions with people from various backgrounds. Because my constituency is 52% Malay, 39% Chinese, 10% Indians, and 1% others. I have no regrets about my journey. I have no regrets about the contributions that I've made in the arena of politics. I know many of you, when you look at the political world today, when you look at the actions of most politicians, you will feel very disappointed. You will feel perhaps maybe a little bit angry even because of some of the things that they do and they say. You may think that politics is something that's very disconnected with you, something that is not relevant to you, something that is corrupt, something that is dirty, something that you do not want to waste your time in. And I get where you're coming from, because I've seen this with my very own eyes. I sometimes feel that way, and I'm a politician, so I wouldn't blame you for feeling the same. But at the same time, I'm standing here today because I want to give you a different idea, a different impression of what you can do in the political arena, what you can do in terms of caring and contributing to your society, to the community, to the country that you love. And I want to show 3 examples, short examples based on my own personal experience. I know we're not supposed to do a lot of self-promote here, but these are experiences that I've gone through. These are cases that I'm familiar with, and I'm able to share them with greater clarity and conviction. My colleagues in Parliament, many of them have done far greater things, far more significant things than I, but I hope that by sharing these 3 examples, you're able to connect with them and see how politics can bring about a positive change in society. The first story I want to share with you is regards to the flooding that happened in December last year. I'm sure that many of you still can recall the different images of different areas that are flooded up to the first floor of some of the double-story houses, and some houses even up to the roofs. When I got the call from my colleague in Taman Sri Muda in Shah Alam, that he needed me to help in the rescue efforts, I immediately sprung into action. Why? Because I am probably the only member of parliament in the entire country who has not only one, not two, but 3 kayaks sitting in my office. Because I have done a lot of expeditions in rivers, looking at pollution, looking at erosion, looking at cleanliness, looking at how we can increase the level of activity using our rivers in KL as well as Selangor. So when the call came from my colleague, I told my guys, let's put the kayaks to work, let's go down to Taman Sri Muda. And these are some of the photos that my staff took of me and my team rescuing different people during the floods. I did not have an entourage of 20 people videotaping me and taking pictures of me when I was doing the rescue. And I was out there for 4 hours, rescuing people, rescuing a dog, rescuing an OKU, rescuing people from different communities, to show that a politician can really do work, not just with his mouth, but also with his hands, his feet, and his kayak together with his team. It was not just saving people during the time of floods, but it was the follow-up action that I really felt we needed to demonstrate to the people that we are there for the people. Kita jaga kita. And I was really compelled to do this because I know that many NGOs would be doing the right thing by going to assist people. And at the same time, I know that politicians would be wanting to get their fair share of limelight, so to speak. But I wanted to show assisting people in the right way by getting my hands and my feet dirty together with my team. To show that we are not just there for a photo op, but we are there because we truly want to help the people. And these are some of the pictures that my staff took when I was cleaning a couple of houses in my own area, or near my own area, housing more than 60 people from the Rohingya community. And what was amazing about the experience was that after I helped clean these houses, the neighboring house was also housing some Rohingya refugees. One of them came to look for me and said, I got a message from my friend. He said, look for this guy wearing that red cap. He will help you clean your house. And that is what we did. That is what we did. It's not for show, it is something that we really went down to the ground to help. And this is not something that I do on my own. It is important that in politics, you bring in good people from all walks of life, all sorts of backgrounds. And you can see this is me and my team making a positive impact to the community during the COVID-19 pandemic, during the floods, and whenever we are needed, we spring into action to help the people that deserve the most help. This is the kind of positive impact to community, to country, that you guys can be part of. It doesn't take a superhero. It doesn't take somebody with a lot of degrees, but it does take somebody together with his or her team to want to care for people, for community, for the country in a very genuine way. I know that this may be a bit too big for you guys to stomach all at one go, but you can start small. You can start within your own community. If there are things that you want to advocate for, even within Taylor's University, like better access to parking spaces, it's somewhere to start. You may want to advocate for better bus routes, or better bus shelters, or better lighting, where some of you are staying nearby the university, with the local council, which is Majlis Bandaraya Subang Jaya, and also with the local political representatives, so that they can hear your voices, especially since many of you are now eligible to vote. And then from then on, you can educate yourself to find out more things by joining things like, for example, the Malaysian Public Policy Competition, and also many other public policy competitions that are out there right now that have proliferated over the number of years as a result of more student activity and awareness on campuses. By educating yourself, by getting information, you are able to do much more than what I could do when I was in university. Friends, it's often difficult to de-link politics with politicians. But let me tell you, your ability to impact society can be done without even being a politician. If economics is about the mobilization of economic distribution of economic resources, then politics is about the distribution of political resources and power. The more you are able to mobilize political resources, for example, the number of students in this campus who are voters in a particular area, the more you will be able to do things to impact society and community and even country. So do not just focus on the politicians, they come and go. If you want to get into politics, and I will talk about it later at the end of my presentation, that can be an option. But there are many other options for you to undertake in order to positively contribute to the community and the country. I will end by giving you 5 action points. These are the 5 E's that I hope that some of you can remember. 5 E's, namely educate, engage, empower, experience, and finally enter. For educate, you want to educate yourselves and your friends about different ways in which you can participate in politics. By, for example, understanding a very basic thing. What are the different ministries and government agencies out there? What do they do? And how is it relevant to your daily lives? And you can start by the obvious one, which is the Ministry of Higher Education, that impacts all of you either directly or indirectly. For example, all of your courses have to be accredited by the Malaysian Qualifications Agency, which sits under MOHE. Some of you take out PTPTN loans. That is also supervised and governed by the Ministry of Higher Education, and so on and so forth. If information is power, then education is power squared, because you are able to use your education to be able to impact society and transfer the information into actionable items in a very meaningful way. Second E, engage with politicians, with activists, with community leaders, with opinion leaders, and other leaders, including some of the speakers that you've encountered today, so that you can contribute and learn from them and perhaps even partner with them on some policy, social, or political initiatives. Thirdly, experience. You should experience community service and political engagement with like-minded people in various community initiatives or activities, or social movements, or even political parties, if you believe in the cause and if you want to invest your time in these causes. With experience, you'll be able to do the following, which is to empower yourself with skills, with networks, so that you can increase your value-added efforts to bring about a positive change in the policy and political ecosystem. I would not be able to do the things I can do today if not for the experience and the skills that I've accumulated together with my team over the past 9 years. If you want to make a positive contribution, these are things that you should think about as well. And finally, last but hopefully not least, if you really feel called to enter into the world of politics by running as an elected representative, then you should join a political party. You should go and see for yourself what it means, what it is like to be in a political party, the good, the bad, and hopefully not too ugly, and find out how you can contribute to the political process in this way. The future is in your hands. You can make a difference in Malaysia and beyond. Don't give up. Keep it up. We can do it together. Thank you very much.